Now that we've seen that there are no Pokemon booster boxes for less than $200 on current market today, I think there's still a few that people are sleeping on, and we might want to scoop this up before it's too late. I'm going to jump right into the last of the booster boxes that just tipped over $200. Everything else has been at $200 or just above, or well beyond, as you've seen a lot, especially in the Sword and Shield era. This Battle Styles booster box was the last one of Sword and Shield and the last of all booster boxes to tip over that edge of $200. I know $198, that doesn't mean anything, right? Okay, but the $10 shipping, that's going to get you there. Market price is putting at $205. Is this a missed opportunity if you don't pick it up right now? No, not at all. It's not a missed opportunity. I'm not picking it up. I don't have one. I don't want it. Because we always have that free will, that decision-making process within our collection and what we would like to keep and what we wouldn't like to keep, what we want to pick up, where we want to spend our collection dollars. So for me personally, I'm not going to pick it up. However, if you are in the business of collecting and getting something that's going to increase over time, booster boxes are usually a good idea. Especially in the Pokemon space, booster boxes are a really good idea to be hoarding them if you can. To put it bluntly, you want to kind of, get as many, catch them all if you can, so to speak. And really what we want to do is kind of compare this with the product itself, the fact that the pull rates are quite terrible, but what is the chase card? Where are people going for this? What would be the point of having this if you could ever get it and do that opening chase? What are you looking for? You're looking for that Tyranitar V alternate art. And this card alone is in the same boat, same price as an entire booster box. Now, to give yourself the guarantee of value right here, right now, today, go pick up the single card. That's the better way to go. That's the more sensible thing to do, because the risk, the gamble of the booster box and what's within, chances are really, really high, really good, you will not find a Tyranitar V alternate art. That Sleeping Tartar right there. However, we can see that over time, it can go up at 216, it can go down 133, it's heading back down, it's at 200, pretty volatile when it comes to single cards, whereas the booster box itself has been pretty steadily working in its way of a growth phase throughout the entirety of this boom, and it's not slowing down because as all these booster boxes are taking up, you're going to go and look for what's available, what's possible, what's the best buy, bang for your buck, and if we're just going packs per dollars per pack, however you want to put it, Battle Styles was the best to get for quite a while. But is it still worth it today? That's for you to decide. I'm not here to tell you, go buy. I don't do that. I don't get all, FOMO-y and freak out. If I were interested in buying a booster box that's not on a current set, or it's something that I want to add to the collection, but I really could care less if it's going to be one of the big hitters or not. It's just another piece to the story. For instance, those who want one of each from Sword and Shield. If you don't have it, you might want to consider picking it up, I don't have everything from Sword and Shield. I don't have all the different booster boxes from Sword and Shield. I think I came in at, Chilling Reign, Evolving Skies, somewhere in there. I don't even remember which one was first. So that's where I came in, and I don't have a few of those earlier ones. I don't have the Build Battle Styles. I don't have Vivid Voltage booster box. There's a few I don't have, but also it's so far back that I'm not interested in turning around and getting it because my collection dollars are better used elsewhere, which brings me to the next point. Journey Together is probably your next best bet. It's sitting around $205, and there's two versions. The other one is about $10 on top of this, but you have an option of it just shy of or just above that $200 mark, and it's come down from its FOMO prices, and it's been pretty stable in this $200 range. This is probably a decent pickup. This is one I would be looking at. While they're similar in price, I'm looking ahead rather than looking so much further behind, and I think Journey Together has a better potential as far as pull rates. I think it has a better potential as far as pulls within, and I think the longevity of Modern in the Scarlet and Violet era will actually play better than some of those lesser or less popular Sword and Shield sets. This, I believe, Journey Together will be considered a less popular Sword and Shield set. Sorry, Scarlet and Violet set. However, I think when you equate less popular Sword and Shield and less popular Scarlet and Violet, Journey Together is going to outperform Battle Styles with enough time. I can make up all my predictions and my guesses based on my knowledge of the hobby. However, I don't know. Nobody has a crystal ball. We can't look ahead and see exactly how this plays out. The chances are that Journey Together actually has way more printing done than Battle Styles ever did. So actually, as far as rarity, Battle Styles might be the better play. However, what you can pull within, you have the top chase card of that Tyranitar V alternate art. That one I think will do longer or better performance long term over Lily's Clefairy EX. One to one, the artwork on the Tyranitar is obviously better. I mean, if you disagree with that, I'd love to hear about it in the comments down below. But I think it's very obvious that the Tyranitar is much better artwork. It's got a lot more storytelling, a lot more interesting, engaging visual story to it. So I think it does a lot better in telling a story. And Clefairy's cool. Tyranitar, I think, has a little more popularity behind it between the two of them. So Lily's Clefairy doing well, shy of the booster box, which is what you'd see normally, that the sealed product would outperform. But this is such a new set, it's kind of wild that we're even close. And the fact that we're up in here is all based on the boom. Is there a chance that this booster box will come back down below $200? I don't think so. I don't think that $200 is going to be outrageous for quite a while. I think we're going to be at this plateau for some time. It's going to take a major shift in the hobby, and I'm talking a mass exodus from all the scalpers, anybody who's been collecting and they're fatigued, anyone who feels like, forget this, there's other stuff out there that's even more important to be collecting or more enjoyable to collecting, or there's something that goes on within the TCG where we get a set or two that's just not compatible for a lot of the players, that they're really not interested in where it's going. There's a lot of factors that you could consider, but I think Journey Together kind of is showing us that this plateau of $200 might be in place for a while, even though there's no real need for it because MSRP should be putting it about $162. So a little bit disappointing that we're in this space. So you're kind of looking at it from where are we now? What kind of lens are we looking at it through right now? Things change. Things change. Take Temporal Forces, for example. Long time, people couldn't care less. I mean, even into the boom of this crazy market we've been in since Surging Sparks on, this one was still below MSRP of Temporal Forces, and people were just like, yeah, whatever, who cares? Why would you pick it up? The chase card out of this one is an $81 card. Yeah, 82 on for the market price, so it's an $80 card from its high of like 106. So, you know, it's not the most amazing chase card when you compare that to the packs. Okay, this has a little more obvious story of, yes, sealed should perform better than singles. However, it's been out long enough that I would see a little bit better balance given the market, given the boom. That would make sense. So I wouldn't be in on this booster box. I feel like that'd be overpaying. And if you look a little bit more closely, you can see it's actually tipping down just a little bit after these recent buyouts here in the $200 range. 71 sold there at 210, and then we're coming back down. I don't know, we peaked up, we're coming back down. So let's give it some time and see if Temporal Forces can cool off because it's just not that exciting of a set. A lot of the chase cards are not high value cards when it comes to the dollar value. I think the playability, there's some fun here. The artworks actually have some pretty nice artworks, especially on the Special Illustration Rare. I know I go through artworks and Special Illustrations Rares kind of knocking them, but there is a difference with the texture and everything, so you have to consider that, even though if you can't see it based on the computer here today or your phone, wherever you're viewing, you know, in hand, they do hit differently. So got to give credit where credit's due on Special Illustration Rares. When we move into similar, but not exactly the same, Paradox Rift has kind of been in the same boat where it's just been this long, flat rise into the 130 range back in December of 24 into early this year. And now we finally hit this climbing period to get to that 210 mark. 215 here looks like might be our lowest listing. And again, we don't have high value cards. So buying singles is going to be the better bet here, although singles are volatile. Remember that. Remember that. We had a nice big spike up here. I think a lot of people had the grout on. Yes, you're not wrong for thinking it's one of the best ones, and it does look good. However, to put all your eggs in one basket and say, I'm going to buy a bunch of these and think you're going to hit it big, yeah, it feels good when it hits 100, and then a month and a half later it hits down to 72. That's a pretty big swing, where sealed products don't usually have that wild of a swing. It's going to be a slow growth up or a slow decline down. Even considering some things here, we look at this, and this is an obvious correction. You have the FOMO prices, obvious correction, getting to where the market really wants to land on something like the Journey Together booster box. So you can't compare the beginning of one thing to a year later life cycle of another and say that they're going to operate the same way. They will not. So singles, I don't know. I'd go for singles that you like. Sealed product, I'd go for a sealed product that's meaningful to your collection long term, where for me personally, Battle Styles isn't going to hit the mark, where Journey Together, I haven't had a chance to pick it up, and I've been watching it, seeing if I can find that right at $200 level or maybe a little bit below just to get that deal out of it. But that's just me. Everybody's different. Tell me what you think. And while you're down there commenting, let me know how you feel about today's video and just looking at the market in this way. Go ahead and leave a like and a comment. I am giving away an Evolving Skies 3-pack blister, you got to be a part of the channel. So subscribe to the channel. That's going to be your first step in on it. But then make sure you go over to this video here and leave an additional like and comment for your chance to enter for the 6,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm also going to be giving away 5 Pokemon mystery packs. So 6 winners overall for the 6K subs once we get there. And I do have a giveaway to do. I didn't get to it today because I want to talk about this, so we're kind of missing that. I'll have to double down next week and give away twice as much. And actually, we got a few things to go over in that regard. So next week, I'm basically just going to do only giveaway 4 or 5 different things I have to lined up. So tune in for that if you want to win some stuff. Comment along the way for your chance to enter. And I do post 7 days a week, so I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.